images of black people. And so today we're going to define some things for you. But right now we're going to open up with the way we open up and the way we believe that black people throughout the United States should open up in the spirit of unity with the Black National Anthem and our salute to the flag. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you right now the mother of this movement, Sister Cheryl Aaron. Give it up for y'all. Come on. Turn it down like that.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Peace.
This is Mother Cheryl here. Please stand for the salute to the flag. Thank you. Please repeat after me. I'll raise your right arm. Put your fist up there. Here's to this flag of mine.
Here's to this flag of mine.
The red, black, and green.
The red, black, and green.
Hopes in its future bright.
Hopes in its future bright.
Africa has seen.
Africa has seen.
Here's to the red of it.
Here's to the red of it.
Great nations shall know of it.
Great nations shall know of it.
In time to come.
In time to come.
Red blood shall flow of it.
Red blood shall flow of it.
Historians shall write of it.
Historians shall write of it.
This flag of mine.
This flag of mine.
Here's to the black of it.
Here's to the black of it.
400 million back of it.
400 million back of
Whose
it.
destiny depends on it.
Whose destiny depends on
The
it.
red, black, and green of it.
The red, black, and green of it.
Oh, flag of mine.
Oh, flag of mine.
Here's to the green of it.
Here's to the green of it.
Young men and women shall dream of it.
Young men and women shall dream of it.
Face shots and shells for it.
Face shots and shells for it.
Maidens shall sing of it.
Maidens shall sing of it.
Waving so high.
Waving so high.
Here's to the whole of it.
Here's to the whole of it.
Colors bright and bold of it.
Colors bright and bold of it.
Pleased is my soul with it.
Pleased is my soul with it.
Regardless of what is told of it.
Regardless of what is told of it.
Thanks to God for giving it.
Thanks to God for giving it.
Great flag of mine.
This great flag of mine.
Once again, lift your hands up.
You did, though. That's what I said. Who like
Let every
voice and sing till the heaven ring. Ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the piercing sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the darkness has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the blessing has brought us. Facing the rising sun out of the flaming light. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Peace.
Peace.
And welcome Brother T to the podium.
Black power is only the power to define, develop, and defend what is right and best for black people. Again, my name is Brother Taharka Shakur. Brother Taharka J. Shakur. And the J is interchangeable between Jaja and Justice. But today, as I explained Sunday, I'm feeling more like Jaja and Justice. When we put them together, it means the God the gift of God of justice. So I'm just Jaja Justice today. Before I bring up the minister on this glorious day of appreciation, not Christmas, this glorious day of appreciation, we were having a very, very interesting conversation before we went live today, and I'm not going to comment too much on it about it now, because it seems we get to comment on it a little bit later. But I will just quickly say, when we talk about coming out of her on this day of celebration, many of us have families, many of us have friends that are celebrating this holiday. And when we talk about coming out of her, when we're talking about separating ourselves from this world, that sometimes even comes to us separating ourselves from those that we love, because they love this world so much that it hurts us to have to step away from them from time to time. Like my mother just recently called me and was like, I know you don't celebrate this holiday, but your sisters was looking for you. I say, well, I might be free after 6, because we got to come out of her first, because we have to understand the level of how this world has trapped us in its claws. When we talk about Satan and his claws, how they have had a great grip on the black mind and on the consciousness of our people, that we will sacrifice so much for our children on this day, but we cannot sacrifice to build our communities up, to secure a future generation for them every day. So with that, I will bring to you the minister, our leader, our teacher, and our guide, the legendary minister, Raheem Cassette Aten, a.k.a. the Sax Preacher.
All right, Hotep.
All right, Hotep.
I say Hotep because starting tomorrow, on the 26th, is the beginning of a celebration called Kwanzaa. 7 days of Kwanzaa activities. That's what we consider to be our black holidays. We don't, in the temple, use the terminology of celebrating. We do more like observe Kwanzaa. You heard Brother T say that we were talking about what it's about and the type of sacrifices that it takes in order to represent one who has come out of this system of things. There's a certain action that has to be taken, and you have to be steadfast in that action, or else the people around you won't take you serious. You really want them to join you in that sort of a resistance that you put up against things of this world that you know are not really true or really righteous. If you're going to expose a lie, you should not be seen continuing to live the lie that you expose.
Amen.
Or then you should not expose it at all.
That's right.
Just leave it to be. I love my family. And I know Brother T loves his family. And we all love our family. But we said we were going to stand up for a cause. We said that we were going to resist some things to show our brothers and our sisters and our children and our future the reason why and the reason how. First, the reason why we don't celebrate it, and the way to how we can create something of our own for ourselves. We have to be seen doing it. We got to represent the kingdom to come. And, you know, years ago you heard me say that it took, I got one sister left after my other sister made her transition. And she's my younger sister. And she started back to celebrating the holiday called Christmas. And she, at one time, would have Kwanzaa and Christmas. Christmas tree in the front room, the Kwanzaa outfit in the living room. And she said, well, I'll just do both. But my point I'm making was not to try to knock her or, say it's a good thing. But I'm saying that when it came to me, standing on what we stood for, and I hope I can use this as an example, she found that I was vegetarian. And I had stopped coming to her house on Thanksgiving. And then she, because she loved me, I loved her, since the level of love you have in your family, that you begin to accept them and say, okay, we understand. And so she started having a vegetarian dish for me. And started having more than one dish after a while. And then it even went to a point that, okay, bump Christmas. How about the day before Christmas? Can you come over? You see what I'm saying? So if you hold on and hold fast, and they love you, and you really ain't doing it to hurt them, you're doing it because you're throwing something back at Satan saying, we ain't got to be a part of your thing. We got our own thing. That was a song, wasn't it? Every D said it best. We got our own thing. And that's what we're supposed to be saying. But we got to prove that our own thing is better than what was.
That's right.
See, we got to. And see, when you hear young people like Brother T, a millennial, and another sister who's going to come up, who's on the cuffs of millennialism or whatever it's called, you know, but they carrying the torch on to show you that I'm one of those who said I'm willing to come out too. I'm willing to show that we can make a way for ourselves. And the song that I want to play, I came up with my horn because a lot of people still don't know that sax preacher and Minister Raheem is the same person. Well, you will know that today. Now, if I don't play like the sax preacher, I'm a fraud. I'm an imposter. And you might think I'm an imposter because I'm not going to leave the camera. Because I normally have to walk. But I'm going to stay right here unless they're going to take them cameras off them things and follow me. But I'm going to stay right here, you know. And I had to one day, you know, because I never wore a fez before, but when I fully put on my outfit, masonry outfit, I decided to take a picture with the fez on and everything and put it out on Facebook so that there won't be no whispering. Like I hear people whisper about Elijah and whisper about Noble Drew Ali and whisper about Imam Isa. Did you know he was a Mason? Did you know he was a Mason? You don't have to whisper. Just go on Instagram. I'm standing right there. And I'm trying to show you that I want our brothers and sisters to know who the true Illuminati is. And it's a difference between white Masons and black Masons. There's a difference between white anything and black anything. Whatever it is, we must do it. The Bible itself said there's going to come a day and time when we're going to separate the goat from the sheep. And if you can't distinguish the two, you got a problem. You need to be in the mental institution. Because a sheep's hair don't look nothing like a goat's straight hair.
At all.
Thank you.
So if that day is going to come, then we need to tell our brothers and sisters the difference. No, we ain't talking about hating on nobody white. Matter of fact, we don't have time to hate on white people. We got time to expose their hate on us, is what we do. And so, I just want to do this song. It's called Imagine. And I want us to imagine, not the world as it is, but the world as it's supposed to be. I want you to imagine that, my thing is not. Is it plugged in? It ain't. Okay. And I want you to imagine, the song was written just to show you that we don't hate white people. It was written by John Lennon, a very, very deep white boy who saw the world in peace. He saw the world, as a matter of fact, he led the peace movement.
Yes, sir.
And they killed him because his generation wanted peace. But his definition of peace wasn't America's. America's definition of peace was drop bombs and it'll be peaceful after that. John Lennon's definition of peace was no more war. Back off of destroying people and killing them off. It was love and it was peace. And the peace sign was invented. And he wrote the song Imagine. Imagine the world as it should be. As we know it's supposed to be. And so I'm going to do this song. And then I'm going to allow the warriors to come up. And whatever time I got left, I'm going to add to it. and share with them and share with you why we need to come out of her. And when we said, we know you're not going to come completely out of the system, and we don't want you to be stupid. Yahshua wasn't stupid. When he told his disciples, come out of her, they say, well, what about taxes? Somebody was going to go to jail. He said, who face on that coin? They say, Caesar. He said, well, give back to Caesar that which is his. And then at a certain point in time, they didn't have no money. And he said, go fishing. And they went fishing. And one of the fish, he picked it up and pulled a coin out of his ear and said, now go pay our taxes. In other words, he was saying that in order to stay in tune with the government in a righteous way, you can rebel against him, but at the same time, he'll help you do the parts that's supposed to be done, that you're supposed to do in any civilized organization or any civilized state or city. Said follow the laws of the city and whatnot, as long as they don't go against who? The Creator. So we are not crazy. But I need you all to hear from some of the young people based on the teachings that we have here and how they feel in their heart and what it really looks like to come out of. From a political standpoint, from a social standpoint, because again, all of this crap dealing with voting and whatnot, we're not against voting. We're against the process that's going on right now in America, that we know that this enemy can change the process in midstream. Anytime he get ready. They showed us that during Harold Washington, didn't they?
Yes.
How when Jane Byrne didn't win for the Democratic nominee, and all of them jumped ship and became Republicans and started voting for a white man named Epton, Bernard Epton. Shows you they'll do it. Shows you that when somebody wins the popular vote, but they ain't popular with them, but that white man seems to be more popular with us, then they go and introduce to you something called, what's it called? The Electoral College. And they have been telling us about it since we were in grammar school. So why would we be in some system, keep on thinking that they are going to be something beneficial to our rise when they still keeping us under their thumb? Create our own party. Create our own. Train our own youth. And then run them against those two parties. Show them an alternative. Show our people an alternative. And we're willing to create it. We're willing to help you create it. But you got to get with us, because if you're going to build something up, you ain't going to have the day like it used to be. I'm behind you. No, stand with us. We ain't going to have no martyrs and then you go back to sleep. No, if you're going to martyr us now, you're going to have to slaughter us. Thank you for listening. I'm finna play this song. Same guy.
Ooh, call me up because that was funny. It made me think about our conversation.
You know, Facebook family, this is some serious stuff. The Creator of all being in the world made me what they call an orphan. Why? Because I wasn't raised by a mother, my mother, or my father. And I did not accept any of our foster parents as my mother or my father. I basically let myself be raised by common sense and the world. I said, what, sir? Not on a holiday, is it?
Look like it.
No, I think you're sitting there.
Oh, they do that all the time. So, all I wanted to say is that we're going to share with you what this movement is about, why we don't celebrate Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, let's be honest with you, and any of the holidays that were set up by this world. But we do honor our veterans. We do honor our mothers. We do honor our fathers. We do actually have our own understanding of the birth and the death of Yeshua. We don't throw that out. We throw out the dross, but we don't throw out the meat of what it is that we stand on. We may not understand or want to understand the understanding that they gave us of Yeshua in this world, the way they gave it to us in the church. But we don't throw Yeshua out. We understand that whatever his name was, that the work that was done is a work of morality and a work of righteousness and a level that we had to attain in order to become one with the same entity that he was one with. And he said, me and my father's one. And the process of him coming into the world was saying that him and his mother was assigned to us. That always is going to be someone born into the world to address our situation. And it's going to always conflict against what's currently going on. It's going to. It has to. It must. The main thing is that the bigness of this whole situation is so big that it sounds like a fairy tale, but yet it's being done before our eyes every day. Somebody actually rules the world.
That's right.
And we're saying that in order to bring God's kingdom on earth, the people he chose are supposed to be ruling the world, the same planet.
Ashe.
And he gave another race a time to rule. And we're saying, time up.
That's right.
That's the whole thing.
We translate Ashe to so be it.
In a nutshell. So I'm going to give Brother T 15 minutes, and I'm going to give Sister Ebony 15 minutes, and I want to know who wants to go first. Wants Brother T to go first. Come on, Brother T. Give it up for him, y'all.
I'm going to start off with something very interesting because it's a very interesting conversation we've had about the minister and that saxophone. And it's only going to be like 2 of my minutes. Because a lot of people made comments about, I look different when I have my blazer on and I have my blazer off, like I'm a totally different person, right? So I was with the minister the other day, and we was talking, and he mentioned he was at a meeting with his sister the entire time. Then he passed out his business cards to them, and she was like, oh, you're the sax preacher. He was sitting there to meet with her the whole time, the entire time, but it wasn't until she seen the business card that she realized it was him. Another quick story he told me about when Jesse Jackson Sr. was at an event. He walked past the minister, shook his hand like he was a normal person. You know what I'm saying? And He was on the stage speaking. The minister stood on the stage, never recognized him. Then the minister went to get a saxophone. Put a saxophone on. He said, "Oh yeah, we got the sax preacher gonna play for us." The man was sitting behind you the whole time. It just talks about, it's funny how God covers us. The covering of God when you are one of the ones. But quickly, when we talk about coming out of her, now, I only mentioned Christmas and my mother calling me for a specific reason. Because last year when I first came into the temple, I spent this day with us. I spent this day and the day of reflection with the temple. And the minister asked me, when I came last year, did I feel like I missed out on any parties or any celebrations or just being with my family at that time? And I really had to sit back and reflect on the fact that I didn't. And was trying to figure out why I didn't feel any type of way that I wasn't with my family. That my friends was having all type of parties and all type of events. But I was okay with coming into the temple and spending that time inside of the temple, being the edifice of, not the edifice, but with the temple family. And as I thought about that more and more, and as I just reflected on the conversation that we was having earlier about the situation of our people and then being able to come out of her, it's interesting to really think about what in me made it okay for me to understand that my family and this holiday did not take away my love for my family. The minister made a good point when he was speaking about his sister adjusted to him. See, when we're sitting in this world and we're different, or let's say unique, because I don't like the word different so much, but when we are unique and this world does not fit us, we are not sent here to adjust to it. We're sent here to make the adjustments. See, when we look at the world as it needs to be adjusted, as the minister speaks, as he just said, this world is ruled by the white man.
That's right.
Who is the white man when we literally look at their history? When you look at the history of the white man, all you see is death and destruction. I don't care where you look at their history, from the Irish to the Romans, to the Phoenicians, to the Greeks, to the Russians, to the Europeans, to Britain, to America. Their history is death and destruction.
That's right.
Now, let's look at the total polar opposite of that. Let's look at the history of black people and all over the world. When you look at the ones who were in Mesoamerica, when you look at the ones that are on the continent of Africa, you don't see that death and destruction. You see empowerment, you see love, you see family, you see communities being built. Even you see a person like Mansa Musa, who understood the wealth that he had and just spread it across all of Africa. He made a mistake when he crossed that over into Europe, but we're not going to talk about that mistake. But it was just that love, and we understood that we was prosperous. And even the pharaohs, before the Greeks came in, no, before the Persians came in and took over ancient Kemet, before the Greeks came, because we don't understand that after a certain century, we wasn't there no more. So we can't be mad about the Gods of Egypt movie, because at that time, we might not have been there, because we already lost it because we got big-headed. But we as a people, that death and destruction is not in our history. You cannot find it. You have the revolt and us reacting to it, because even in the Quran and in the Bible, it talks about God, people. Yes, we fight. We understand war, but if it's a war that is just fight to take over land that was not rightfully ours, as the Europeans have done, as the Greeks have done. If you look at the old Roman Empire, it expanded a very vast land, because and every land they went to, and I just was thinking about the barbaricness of the white man. If they look at their history, how could you go into a village, burn down the village, and then just start killing all the children? How could you be okay with that? How can your mind, because that means two things. One, you are not, it's a part of you that can't be human. There's something about you that does not have a heart. Because if we as black people, and this is something that I do, I see a bird that happened to have died and is on the side of the road, or a dog that got hit by a car, we sometimes stop and be like, oh my God, that animal is dead. And I personally think we don't clean it up off the street because we don't want to mess with it. When we die as a people, we put shrines up on where the dead person was killed in that spot to give reverence to them. We pour out liquor for our dead homies, not understanding how African that is, but we do it because it's embedded in our DNA to be like that. Something that's also been I want to say pacified in us is the spirit to fight back. Some of us are descendants of the Akan people, and something that the Akan say, if they kill one of us, we kill two of them. I think we got some catching up to do.
Yes, sir.
We have some catching up to do. And when we give in and pacify ourselves and come into their holidays and celebrate their Veterans Day, celebrate their 4th of July, their independence, when we celebrate their Christmas, which makes no sense because they don't even really believe in Christ. When you really think about it, they have their whole manifest destiny thing and say, well, Christ did this, but what would Jesus do? I guess it don't apply to them at all, because nowhere in the Bible did Jesus kill anyone. Nowhere in the Bible did Jesus steal from anyone. But no, he didn't drop no bombs on nobody. He might have went into a church and took that mug up, but they gave you churches. The white man gave us churches, but to be Christ-like is to be away with that.
All right.
So how are we celebrating Christmas? How are we taking that and saying that this is the day of the birth of the black Messiah? First and foremost, we're talking about a holiday that was given to us, giving reference to a white man, where some would even say the original person, St. Nicholas, was a black man as well.
Lord.
But we got this image of this fat white man coming to our children's houses, being able to go around the world every day and make it in one day where he can deliver gifts on the night of? What? What kind of devilish power is that? See, to me, that is trying to compare Santa to God, because the last time I checked, the only person that was able to do something like that and was everywhere at once was God. That's the power of God. And we call Santa Claus Satan Claus for a reason. And when you really think about that reason, not the reason for this season, but the reason for us calling him Satan, is because Satan was, the figure they gave us was red. You know what I'm saying? It's this red figure. Santa Claus' favorite clothes is, don't he wear a nice red suit? You know what I'm saying? He might be fat, but that is and I'm going to say it's because all the children he ate. You understand what I'm saying? Because he ain't no vegetarian. That's all the children he ate. That's why he's so fat. But when you just think about that, I had to, right? I'll go into that later, but we ain't going to be live when I go into that. I might be on Instagram, but no. But just with that, when we really think about her, and we think about, again, coming out of her, and I said it in my lecture Sunday, but when we look at all these holidays that was given to us, and I'm just going to revert back to my conversation about something that me and Sister Cheryl was talking about earlier that came up, that we are all not the children of God. Like, what you mean, Taharka? We all ain't the children of God. What I mean is, their father is not ours. Jesus said it to them himself. Your father is not in heaven. Your father is the devil. Your father is Satan.
That's what he said.
That's their father. So you can't sit here and tell me that we are the same as them. That they believe in Darwinism. That they started off as a single-cell amoeba. I will never ever say I started off as some single-cell organism that turned from a monkey. What? That same single-cell amoeba was the dinosaurs, and it transformed into the huge sloths and the large rats and the mammoth, and then it turned to the white man. I don't want that lineage. I don't like that backstory. See, a lot of people don't pay attention to another thing in the Bible, that on the 6th day God created man. Mm-hmm. But then after he rested, he created Adam and Eve. What is that saying? that there was something that happened on this planet that God realized that he had to make Adam and Eve. Because it was something on this planet that might have came here first that was corrupt. And he created them to fight it. See, I have a personal belief, and when we talk, I know Sister Ebony would come out and mention it a little bit because she talked about Neo and not enough Neos being here. Not enough Neos being awake. You might not talk about it. I'm just saying she talked about it. She should, but if she not, I got 3 minutes and I can do it in 3 minutes. So when we talk about the one, first we have to realize that if there is a one, he gonna be really tired.
He back here.
He gonna be really tired, right? Because there are 8 billion people on this planet. I'm pretty sure the time when Jesus was here, that was like only maybe 100,000. I might just be joking with that, but there was not as many people then as there are now. When you can go 100 years ago and it was like 5 billion, you go 100 now. So think about 2,000 years ago, wasn't that many people here. So he might have been cool being the one, but I'm pretty sure we need more than one now. You need one in Chicago that might have the same population as the world did then. So you gotta have one here. Maybe not just even one, you gotta have a couple. I like how the minister said you might need to have 7. So when we just talk about that there are not enough of us being awoken, and there's a part of what we was in a disagreement in our conversation when I said I don't think there's enough blood on the street for our people to wake up. And when I really go into that, and I'm gonna break that down a little bit more because when I was standing back there, I was not in it yet, but for some reason I'm in it now. And when we really look at that, our people don't see as a whole. You know, we can sit in this room, we can see it. You can go to the church, the pastor might talk about it, but I don't think it's a reality to us when you get thousands of people sitting inside of edifices on Sunday, but then they can walk out to that same street and I see that there's a problem. That you can talk about it in the church, but you can't go out there into the streets and actually see that it's a problem, that we can walk and look at our neighborhoods and look at the way they are and be okay with that. It is sickening to me when I walk past a sister and she asking for change so she can go get her some more drugs. That's a problem to me. That is sickening to me. But for some reason, it's not sickening to the man selling her the drugs. For some reason, it's not sickening to her. We do so many things to hate ourselves that it's time, and I love something the Minister Omari said, that a lot of our people are sheep. I talked about the other day when I was speaking with the minister that imagine if Beyonce said something. When that formation song came out, women were getting information. They don't know for what. I don't know what Beyonce led them to, but they did for some reason. When this Carter album came out and they was talking about gorillas going ape nuts, our people was going ape nuts because Beyonce and Jay-Z said it. So that just goes to show you our people need a leader.
All right.
But we don't need these for show leaders. We need some for sure leaders. See, it's a big difference between you being for show and for sure.
Thank you.
So when we come to the end of my 15 minutes, because I just was feeling it, and I bring Sister Ebony up here, I really want us to really think about that. Even when we talk about these people who say we need to come out of Christmas, but then their business is closed on Tuesday. That don't make sense to me. You say, no, we gotta be pro-black, we should celebrate Kwanzaa, but then you close on Christmas.
Uh-oh.
Are you really talking about coming out of her, or are you just for show?
Uh-oh.
Because if you was for sure, you'd be open today.
That's right. That's right.
You'd be open today. Your business efforts would be closed because for sure you are coming out of this world, because Christmas is something that is in this world, and you have to come out of her to really build the kingdom of God, because this world again is ruled by Satan. God gave him dominion. His people have dominion. They are his children, and we were sent here to fight his children. If we don't want to take that fight, we might as well sit down and lay down, and I say peace.
Hey. All right. Get ready to call up the next millennial on the cups of millennials. Look, this is our day. And when I say our day, we feel good not to be under some, I'm almost cussed.
You caught it.
under some Christmas tree. Opening up gifts and things like that. No, we're here. And we're roasting that child molester y'all call Satan. And we letting you know that Jesus wasn't born today.
Thank you.
You better read about your real person named Nimrod.
4,000 years.
That's who was born today.
So anyway, you know, y'all was talking about something and it reminded me of something I wrote when I was 16. Y'all can say, wow. So I'm going to mess it up, that's what I'm saying. It's called The Blood in the Mud. Y'all was talking about the blood out on the streets. I said the blood in the mud is soaked up by the ghetto. I said the blood in the mud is lying on the ground in the ghetto. And then, I'm trying to remember how to go. When will we stop spilling our blood? I heard the word about our faith, F-A-T-E. Stop killing each other before it's too late. They're building bricks with our blood. They're building houses with our blood. That's about all I can remember.
All right. Yeah, all right.
Y'all got it? It was a long one though, but that's all I can remember. When you said that, that's what I thought about. You know, when you said you can't see the blood, I think Omari said or someone else said. You said you can't see it, well that's where it is. You know, they building houses with our right. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because we're being real radical today. And matter of fact, we're probably gonna keep it up for quite some time. Because we want to see action. And Omari said, you can't say it no better. Sometimes, you know, it's okay to have defense, but at a certain point, you got to have an offensive move.
Yes,
and I believe that the enemy has gotten comfortable with how we do things now. And nobody's stirring up the basket. You know, nobody's stirring nothing up around here. Nobody agitating nothing right now. Ain't nobody agitating, you know. Everybody just going along to get along, you know. And a little march don't affect them no more, you know what I'm saying? And a little boycott don't affect them no more, you know. So it's nothing no more, you know. So you got to agitate them. And I've got some ideas on how to agitate too. And we're going to see if, well, let me shut up. I'm going to call up a young lady who, you know, she was out here on them streets, hitting them streets and showing our brothers and sisters how to take over these houses with these exes. I hope when she get up here, somebody gonna say, we was looking for her. There she is. Let's get over there now. We won't let him get you though. Anyway, but you know, she knows how to do it. She had a few people out there that was with her, and she might name a few of them, and some of them have gone on with the Lord. Lord Hood.
Oh my God.
I'll let her explain that. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 minutes. Sister Ebony, and after that, we're going to get up I ain't say nothing. I ain't say Lord. He went on with the Lord.
No, because it was funny if you really know what you're talking about.
All right.
Greetings.
Please.
I am Ebony Stevenson, aka the Elder Millennial. I am the oldest age, I'm 37, so that's the oldest age of a millennial you can be, so. I try to drop my knowledge bombs on these younger millennials like Tahaka, Jaja Shakur over there. So, it's good to be with you here today as we come out of her and not fall into Satan's claws and celebrate this false holiday of Christmas. First, I wanted to start to talk about just a little bit about the hypocrisy of Christmas. So, Mr. Justice over here alluded to earlier, like the notion of us celebrating the white man. So I just find it quite peculiar that we will struggle and save and borrow money and get payday loans to go get gifts to put under a tree, and then tell our children that a random white dude with a red nose comes down your chimney, put some gifts under your tree, eat your food, and got your name on the list. Is he like the cops? Like, what is going on? Like, where we are making white people seem friendly to our children when they go out in the street and white people only see them as a criminal. We are starting our children out early to idealize and be friendly with white people, and that's not the situation that they face. The minute they step out of the door every day, to the cops, they are criminals. When they go to school, to their teachers, to these white teachers fresh out of college teaching our babies, they are criminals. But we will make them think that, oh, they just cool people, Sam's a cool white person, you know what I'm saying? The cops are cool white people. No, that's not our reality. And that's why one of the reasons why our kids are so angry. So when our community raises our children, we raise them under this ideology of just getting along. We don't raise them for reality. We fall into this, oh, you can be anything you want to be. The sky is the limit. We don't talk to them about racism. We don't talk to them about the actual reality that they're going to experience. So when I'm just basing this even off of me growing up. You know, I remember when I was in grammar school, we were on this radio show, and the interviewer was like, hey, what are you going to be when you grow up? And then one of my frenemies, Malachi, he said, oh, I'm going to be president of the United States. And then I was like, then it came to me, I was like, well, oh, I'll be vice president of the United States, you know, until he dies or something happens and gets impeached, and then I'll be president. That was my thinking when I was in grammar school. I had no idea of the reality that awaited me outside of those doors. I had no idea of what it would be like to go to college and be criminalized on an everyday basis because of the color of your skin. I remember when I was in school, my academic advisor told me that he didn't understand why I was pre-med because black people didn't go to medical school. Like, these are the realities that our children are facing, but we still do this thing every year where we make white people seem normal, where we make white people seem friendly. There's nothing that hurts my heart so much than to be somewhere with amazing, beautiful black children, and a white girl comes in the room and the kids run up to her and want to touch her hair and do all this other stuff. When this white woman is seeing your child as a criminal, but you're making things seem like that they see them as regular children, and they don't. And that's ridiculous. And we got to stop doing that. Something else that I just find super interesting about Christmas is that we don't celebrate Christmas as the fake holiday that Jesus was born. We celebrate Christmas as this season where retailers make the most money that they make in the whole year.
Yes, ma'am.
And these retailers are making millions. Look, how much money did Amazon make on the Christmas season alone?
Billions.
If we could get 1% of the money that Amazon made, we could really come out of her, because we could really build some black community somewhat now, could we?
Yes, ma'am.
But we don't have that ideology. This notion that, like, oh, it's the holidays, it's not the holidays. All this country sees us as a dollar. And they know, because we can't get credit, that we're going to spend our last dime during this season. We spend so much money every year that we done put white people through college, we done put the Arabs through college, we done put the Koreans through college, we done put the Vietnamese who do our nails through college, and their whole family, and that doesn't make any sense. And then we wonder, like days later, come January 1st, we like, why we don't have no black grocery store? because you spent all the money during Christmas and you should have saved it and invested it in the community.
That's right.
Well, tell it.
So after my next, I just wanted to rant on Christmas a bit just because it was in my bones. So the next thing that I would just like to touch on today is this concept of racial justice, which is very big in the nonprofit community. For you who don't know me, I have been in the nonprofit community for over almost 2 decades now. I've been a community organizer, I've been an executive director, I've been a development director. This was my background. And so every organization I've ever been a part of, there's this concept of racial justice. But it's more like this PC version of racial justice. Because anytime you start to talk about true racial justice and what that looks like, anytime you say black first, they're like, oh, hey, what does that mean? That's a little bit too radical. We can't be black first and still write that grant to get the money for the white people so we can bring it back in the community. No, I'm over it. I'm done. We spend so much of our time begging, and begging. When are we going to get tired of begging? When are we going to get tired of begging? We beg them to get money to fix our schools. We beg them to give us money to start a business. We begging the same people who are killing us every day to solve our problems when the only people who can solve our problems is ourselves.
That's right.
Right.
There's this concept that the minister talks about, that you have to love your people more than they hate themselves. One of the biggest problems in our community is that we hate ourselves so much that we don't acknowledge it. We hate the way we look. We hate the way we talk. We hate the way we dress. We hate where we live. That hate is intense. And so we spend all 24 hours of our day trying to be like somebody else. We gotta change the color of our skin tone with our makeup. We gotta change the texture of our hair with all of our weaves and our wigs and all this extra stuff. All of these things that we're doing to be like someone that hates us and wants to be like us. White people spend their whole lives trying to be like us. They want to talk like us. They want to dance like us. They want to think like us. If they could, they would literally wear our skin. That's actually probably coming to a theater near you, as Minister would say. Because right now they're just using the tanning bands, but if they could probably wear us like a coat. And so this concept of black people adopting white ideology is something that we were talking about earlier. Tahaka said that we're not like white people. And that's true. We are so not like white people that we don't realize it. There's this thing where you do a trial. So the University of Chicago is doing all of these medical trials in our community. One of the reasons they're doing these medical trials is because they're realizing that the medicine that they make doesn't affect us the same way it does white people. So they want to get under our skin and see what makes us tick. It's the same way with organ transplants. When you get a donor organ, black people's bodies don't respond the same way as white people's bodies would because we're different. This is not just a skin tone difference. This is an internal difference. God made us different for a reason. And that's something that we don't acknowledge. So, I've been going off my little notes here, so this is my first time speaking for a long period of time. So, the note I'm gonna end on is something that we talked about earlier. So, this notion of coming out of her. What does that mean? What does that mean to come out of this place that we've grown so accustomed to, that we have actually started to become? Tahaka says this thing where we become more European than the Europeans. And that doesn't make any sense. Because as an elder millennial, we're tired. We don't want to do the same things that our parents did. We don't want to spend all this time going to debt, going to school, getting 5 degrees, and still be broke and got to go work at Walmart, McDonald's, or Target because no one will hire us. We don't want to go through this same thing, going back and forth with the police and like want to be in committees with the police. Like, hey, we got a problem with the police. Let's start a committee and put some black people on it and see how we can work together and make the community a better place. How are you going to make the community a better place from the people who are killing you? How does that work exactly? It's the same thing over and over. And millennials, people wonder why we're so angry. It's because we don't want to repeat the same mistakes of our fathers. One of the reasons why millennials are in the condition that we're in right now is because our forefathers gave up. They didn't put the work in to do what needed to be done so that we didn't have to do this for our children. If we want to have children right now, how? We're in debt. We owe everybody. We owe the government for school. We owe for credit cards. We owe all this money. We're the biggest debt generation that this country has ever seen. And this even more so with black students. Because when we go to college, we have to beg, borrow, and steal to get enough money to even be able to survive 1 year of college, let alone 4 years.
You forgot to work.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've come in this space where we're just fed up. We're tired. And so the only way out for us is to be radical. What's wrong with being radical? I'm tired of being in spaces where people will say, well, hey, we need unity. We all just need to come together. The blacks, the Latinos, the Asians, we're just all people of color. No, I'm not a person of color. I'm black.
Woo, that's right.
Born black.
You are
I'm not black.
That's right. You are a person of color.
Because it's an insult. When you talk about, oh, indigenous people, we are the indigenous people. We are the original people. So why do we always want to take on everybody's struggle when we can't even fight for ourselves? Woo. And so I just want to leave you on that note that I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm only 37. Why am I sick and tired? I'm sick and tired of our people falling into the same crap that we've been falling into generations. If somebody else tell me, oh, well, you should just go vote. What vote gonna do for me? What has voting ever done for me? If we vote in a black mayor tomorrow, is that gonna make the police stop gunning us down in the street?
Nope.
If we vote for a black mayor tomorrow, is that gonna miraculously stop our people from being hungry and destitute on the street?
Nope.
If we vote for a black mayor tomorrow, is he gonna give us back all our houses that the white man has stole from us in our very own communities?
Nope.
If we vote for a black mayor tomorrow, are they going to make sure that we are not just struggling to survive but thrive in our community? No. If we vote for a black mayor tomorrow, all they're going to do is follow the same status quo that's been going on to appease the other white aldermen in their community, and they're not going to do anything for us. So I'm over it. So I greet you. Peace. Bye, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum. Kabar Gadi, what was that? And the Lafayette Midway. Ashe.
We want to go a little overtime on Facebook, so just keep it rolling, y'all. And we're gonna throw out some more stuff because we gotta bring up Minister Omari. But when you said about they would love to be in our skin, I actually felt like that before. I was at a club when I used to play in the lounges, right? And it was this white girl. I was at a white club on the north side. And she was sitting next to me at the bar. And she just kept staring at me, right? And so I just turned her eyes and said, what's wrong? You know? She said, I just love your skin. Oh, God. I looked at her. My skin? She said, yes, I just love your skin. And I started feeling funny, like I hope the rest of the white folks here don't love my skin. Because I ain't leaving. You know? And then I was at another place once, and this white person was just trying to convince me that they accept us. And she was saying like, you know, we don't see color. I said, well, that's a damn insult to me. She said, what do you mean? I'm not trying to insult you. I said, every time you say that, you're going to insult me all this color. And you tell me you don't see it.
You a dog?
I said, that's like you see a person who is disabled and you want them to fit in with you all because you all are not, and you'll say you don't see their disability. Yeah, that's what it sounds like being black is a disability.
Walk past.
So we don't see that, so you can fit with us. I said, no, don't say that, young lady. You see this color.
You see this?
Dr. Phil,
You know what I'm saying?
yes, sir. That's right. Dr. Phil,
Because, and they do, they truly want, if they could, they would wear our skin.
yes.
Yes,
I know they would.
they do.
Yeah.
That's the tanning salons. What do you think that's for?
And we're not being racist. We're telling you proven facts that we've seen. So when I hear them talk, I give them proof that it does happen. I've seen it. I've been a part of them thinking like that, talking to us like that. And they really do want to experiment on us.
Absolutely.
Every time we find out something about some invention, we thought way back then when we exposed all those different inventions and found out that it was black people responsible for those inventions in the past, then now you come and find out that the computer was created by them studying the brain of a black person. Then we come to find out all of a sudden just recently they showed a man who created whatever that part is that make the cell phone operate.
Yes.
Now he was black. And we didn't know all this at first.
And gynecology instruments are based on the bodies of black women that they experiment
Based
on.
on the bodies of black women that they experiment on. So as you can see, they really got us just like they got the pig.
Oh,
Did y'all hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Not only just experiment, they use every part of the pig.
From the rooter to the tutor.
So they got us spending all our money with them. They got us as experimental people. I'll give you another one just to prove that I know y'all telling the truth. It's a lady among us, not in this room, not in the temple, who saw in the paper that the University of Chicago was doing an experiment. They just have to sign a release form that they won't be viable for whatever happens in the experiment, but you will get $600.
Yeah. They won't be liable.
Just like some of our brothers going and sisters somewhere giving up their blood plasma every week for $5 and $10, $15, $20, $30, $40. They using that plasma for something. Hours.
Yes.
Not white folks' plasma. Hours. And so here's this person, I almost lost my thought. Yeah, about how they, I did lose my thought. Where was I?
Experiment, University of Chicago.
University of Chicago. And so when she took the experiment, they got their result. But to this day, she lost her sense of smell.
Wow.
For $600.
Yeah, for
Showed
$600.
yourself out.
And today, because you lose your sense of smell, believe it or not, it affects your sense of what? Taste.
Taste, right, you can taste it.
So she can't smell nothing or taste nothing to this day. And you all know her.
Oh.
But I ain't gonna tell you who it is.
Okay, I know.
But I'm just showing you again that when I'm showing especially Facebook folks, what you hearing up here, I can usually come and give you an example that it is true. And we are not talking about 1600, 1700, 1920. We talking about 2017, 18, going into 2019. It's going on. It's still going on. You heard a young lady say she's 30-something years old, and she talked to you about the racism that they talked about in the 60s.
Yes.
But she wasn't even talking about the 60s.
She wasn't even born in the
She wasn't born in the 60s. So it's just letting you know without a shadow of a doubt that racism still exists as we speak. But we want to water it down. We want to act like it ain't really happening. You know. And so I'm going to bring up one of our boldest black men since college. Now the fact was bold before Carter came out. And so we're going to call him up so he can give his rebuttal to what he just heard from our young people coming up in his own way. Is it a rebuttal?
No, I'm gonna go with addition.
Reinforcement.
He said, you think I'm at the rebuttal? I go arguments to it. Not at all.
Wrong word.
He bet
He's
you
going
back.
to bring
Reinforcement.
reinforced the idea, reinforced the conversation that you all just had and brought out to our people. The co-founder of this movement, Brother Minister Omari Jahian. Give it up, y'all. We extended our time. We won't be doing this on Sundays.
All right. What's up, Facebook?
What's up?
All right, I am Minister Omari Jahi Aden, aka DJ Tyrone. A lot of y'all know me as one of the baddest DJs in the city. You know, what I heard my brothers and sisters, my brother and my sister say earlier today, well, not too long ago today, is very powerful. You know, and this is what black people are missing. We're missing the power in our words when we speak. It's nothing but words with a lot of hot air behind it.
Right.
You know, if we want to see change, Minister Rahim teaches us that we have to be the change that we want to see.
That's right.
There's no way in heaven that we are going to institute change and we don't attack those that have caused us to be in this condition. And notice I didn't say meet with. I didn't say negotiate with. You know, like niggas do. You know, we negotiate. I didn't say march or picket. Attack them where they live like they attack us where we live. Now, are you invoking violence, Brother Minister? I am not a violent person, but I will defend my people. I will defend myself. We are at war, brothers and sisters. And when you are at war, you can't expect to conduct yourself in a manner that people will conduct themselves during peacetime. So, I'm not going to go into what I think we should do because I know this cracker is watching.
Right.
He's looking at us, just like you are. No, I'm sorry. Most of y'all turned off. Most of y'all clicked off. As soon as we said the white man, oh, they racist. And you clicked off. But that cracker watching. He's noting every word we say. And who said it, when we said it, who we are, and who your mom and your daddy is. This is how this cracker works. So, brothers and sisters, if you ain't true to this, then you new to this. We can't be afraid. We cannot be afraid.
That's right.
I'll die for this, I don't care. But I bet you, when I die, my death will prove that I was right. If they take me out, if they take you out, it's proof to everybody else that you was right.
That's right.
So don't be afraid. To be honest with you, I wish the cracker would try to take me out. I wish he would. He'll see what God I serve.
I say.
You'll see it. Because see, I serve an old school guy.
Old school guy.
Old school guy. Not this new age guy that accepts you with all your sin.
Dressing on.
You know what I'm saying? Booty pants and your homosexuality, all that crap.
Ooh,
Your lesbianism.
I'm going now.
I serve an old school guy that says, put that crap back in the closet.
Ooh, he put that.
And if you don't, the new world that's coming is going to deal with your butt. I know preachers are scared to talk about this.
Ooh.
Come after me. Come on. I dare you. I'm not just boasting. Because I believe it's time that we get out of playing defense. They attack us and then we respond. They do this to us and we respond. And our response ain't really a response. It's just some hot air that we blurt out for a TV camera, what they call it, a news cycle. Then after the news cycle is over, then nobody remembers anything you said. Right, everything goes back to normal. I'm saying it's time out for reaction. It's time to attack. It's time for us to attack this white man and all those black white people that's with him. All right. Oreo cookies, we call them. Black on the outside, white on the inside. But like you don't know who they are. Some of you are who they are. You love the white man. You love what he can do for you, what he gives you, his money, his gold, his silver, his property, his cars, his clothes. You love his jewelry. You love it. But you claim to love Jesus. Jesus didn't have any of that.
No, sir.
He said away with that. So you ain't fooling me in the church with your Cadillac.
Thank you. Thank you.
Say it.
You ain't fooling me. I see you, hypocrite. Trying to lead our people down the wrong path that the white man taught you in the religious cemetery, how to teach our people how to interpret the scripture.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
All right.
And we're going to expose you. And I wish it was lawful to put a necktie on me.
Won't look like this one.
No, it won't look like that necktie, brother. But I assure you, when this white man go down and he's going down, if you standing next to him, or you live next to him in the suburbs, you love living high and mighty, want to have your pool like, what's that? Drake and Kanye? Battling over who got the biggest pool. I got a waterfall in my pool. Oh no, my pool is better. I have heat in my pool. The hell with both of y'all pools.
Y'all cannon fire.
I'm saying that we're going to send a storm your way with lightning, hurricanes, and tornadoes that your pool will not survive. And if you want to live next to them, you like living next to them, then you suffer their plagues. It's time out, brothers and sisters. The black man is back. Time out for the scratching where you don't itch. And shuffling and coming in the meeting with your hat in your hand with the yes sir attitude. Yes sir, boss man, yes sir. Oh, hell no. It's time out for that, black man. See, I ain't talking to the black woman today. Because there are black men out there that are fed up with this. They just don't say nothing. They stay at home and watch the fights, watch the football games. No, they ain't watching no soap operas.
Yeah.
They waiting on a leader. Not one that the white man creates for you. Remember, J. Edgar Hoover said after Dr. Martin Luther King that the black man will never have another black leader that he, when I say he, I mean white people, did not create for them.
Yes, sir.
All of your leaders have been created by the white man, starting with Messy Jesse Jackson. He was made by the white man. The white man broke him when he made a comment about Jaime time.
That's right.
And they broke him and they made him apologize over and over and over again for that comment, just like they tried to do with what's the comedian? Kevin Hart. But Kevin Hart was much more of a warrior than this sellout sissy. Kevin told them, I'm not apologizing for nothing.
Say the truth.
I already apologized. You're not going to keep making me apologize for the same thing over and over again. This is how they break you.
Yeah. That is, that's true.
So I know Kevin Hart waiting on this message.
All right.
Woo! Because there's no way we can continue to keep
Man, that's something right.
bowing down. A wise man said, you can't, a man can't ride your back unless you bend over.
So just stand up.
So if we're getting rolled as a black people, that's because you bent over. And we're saying today that either you're going to stand up as a black man or we're going to roll you over. Now, say I'm in what they call it, instilling violence.
No.
Say it.
You instilling violence.
Come and get me for it. Come and get me and lock me up for the violence you claim I'm instilling. I dare you.
He said, say it.
You will see. See, this is all God been waiting on, for somebody to stand up and take authority for who we are as a people. We keep saying we gods, but we act like punks.
You know what to say.
We act like spineless wimps. Scared to die, scared to stand up, scared to do anything.
Scared to live.
Well, they ain't acting.
I'm going to take my seat, but I want to say this thing too. And again, I'm talking to black men. Black men, you better stop giving in to this, what do I call it? This feminist attack on your manhood. This Me Too movement, the feminine liberation movement of the 60s, all that crap was set up in order to break you. Take you out of the household. Get your young boys to become more feminized or effeminate because they are surrounded in a feminine environment. Understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that women are turning our young men into homosexuals. I'm saying that the white man is turning our boys into homosexuals by taking our men out of the households.
All right.
And if you're not a homosexual, you're very sensitive and you wear your emotions on your sleeve and you act like a little woman. Because you're so sensitive. Somebody say anything to you, your feelings is hurt. And now you act like a woman and you respond like women by being spiteful. I'll get you back. I'm going to get you for that. Men do not act like that.
Got it.
If you don't like something a man did, you do better. You do better than him. You don't act like some little female and like, you hurt me, I feel it. Kanye, I want you to hear me now, brother.
Knock it off.
You're a very powerful young man. But you got to come out of those feelings. I believe God is working with you, brother. But you got to come out of those feelings and you got to come out of this belief that you are the second coming of Jesus. You are not the second coming of Jesus. You are a black man that God has happened to give some knowledge and information to that can help our people. That don't make you Jesus. It makes you a powerful black man. Stand up for your people, but stop this crazy madness that you've been doing. I got something for you. Hit me up, brother. I got something for you that can help you come out of this situation. I took it from the white man. You know, have you ever heard of the concept, if you get bit by a snake and you get the antidote or the anti-venom from that snake that bit you? Well, I went to that cracker because that cracker is the one that made us crazy. He drove us crazy with stress. He drove us crazy with unemployment. He drove us crazy with domestic violence. He's the author of that. And I went to that same snake and I got the antidote. And he knew that we were going to get the antidote. So he had this harlot. What is her name?
You're not talking about Kanye West, right?
No, the harlot, the Scientologist chick.
Yeah.
What is her, Lena? What is her name? You know, she had those little cable shows about Scientology,
Right.
exposing Scientology. I forget her name. But that harlot, they brought her out. So that when we come with the solution to madness and mental illness in our community, you would think, oh, that's some kind of spooky Scientologist stuff. Just like they made you think that the knowledge and the information for ancient Kemet was an occult. They put it in the occult book section so you wouldn't go there and learn anything about yourself from the past. So now there's some information that came from Scientology that can help us with our mental illness in our community. But you got to believe, brothers and sisters. And you're going to believe because you're going to see God. Because I know this cracker. He's going to try to do something to us. If we keep like we are, he's going to make a move. I'm like, who was that? Bust the move. Bust the move. Go ahead. Do what you going to do. Like Moses says, drop your rods. Drop them. Do what you think you're going to do. But at the end, we're going to be the winners. God bless. Peace.
You're getting low, brother, on what y'all call it?
Battery.
Battery juice, battery. Hold on. You can't go off yet. All right? Oh, sure. We ain't finished. We ain't 6 o'clock yet. I have to just back up what I just heard today. Look, Facebook family, I hope you have your family listening. And don't run away, because truth crushed to the earth and said will rise again. And that is what you're hearing is we're trying to say that the sleeping giant has to wake up.
Sure.
And he's put so many of our giants to sleep. I mean, he killed off Kwame Ture. And I believe Spike Lee put out a movie just recently. And it had something to do with this black guy. Y'all saw it? The Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Spike Lee is a pretty heavy guy, you know, with the stuff that he be saying.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, speaking of Kwame Ture and speaking of, as a matter of fact, when you see it, he's talking about the past, but it looked like he's talking about today. Because the same stuff's still happening. And what you just heard today, first you saw our millennials who are telling you we sick and tired of being sick and tired. Saying we've seen all this crap. And it continues to just get passed down on and on and on and on. And then you heard our brother come up, and I back him 100%. Because I told the members in this movement, if you telling the truth, then I'll back it up. But we're not going to repeat the mistakes of the past, so we're not going to call this white man, you know, like, you know how you be going back and forth talking about each other, like sigging. We used to call it sigging. What y'all call it? Signifying. What y'all call it when you talk about each other? I think Nick Cannon got a show where you talk about each other. Yeah. You know. Well, we ain't finna play that type of game with this white man.
You say eat him.
You know. What we're doing is just calling him out where he's at. And we know that when you dig deep to call this white man out, eventually what's going to come out with him is his black imps that he got working with him.
Yes, sir.
And here's the thing. You will be surprised at who it would be.
It's Oreos.
See, and it will be some of the people that walk with you. Some of the people that march with you. It'll be some of the people who you sit in these meetings with. Because they're going to scream because you'll be stepping on their toes based on some opportunity that they thought they was going to have with this white man, and now you messing it up. What do you think happened with Marcus Garvey?
Yes.
Same thing going to happen now. Marcus Garvey was saying, you ain't got to kiss up to this white man. You can do for yourself. You can have your own this, your own that. You can create your own schools. You can give out your own diplomas.
That's right.
You can have your own graduation ceremony. You can even have your own stock. And buy shares in it. Come on, y'all, let's do this ourselves. They did it, we can do it. And then all of a sudden, NAACP got upset. And they went and had a meeting. Somebody out here about to destroy everything we fought for. That's what they said.
Yes, sir.
And that's what they felt. Everything we begged for. And every gain we made, he's about to tear all that down. We got to stop him. We can't let that happen. And these mulattoes got together. You know, tell the truth.
Collaborations.
See, they had to create something for the in-between house nigga. Y'all didn't know it was one of them. Yeah, he wasn't in the field and he wasn't in the house. He was on the horse with a gun. Y'all forgot about him, didn't you?
In between house nigga.
Yeah. So they got him a spot.
Yeah.
You know, you did good whooping the niggers.
Chasing them down.
So we'll give you the Negro double A. I mean, a Nick. Wait, what is it?
In double Negroes in the CP.
The Negro double ACP. We gave you the Negro double ACP, and you got it. And the Jew was the one who founded it.
Yep. Yes,
White
sir.
man.
Yes, sir. White man. That's
And if you notice in Marcus Garvey's movement, most of them were of a darker hue.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, again, that was a kind of a subliminal Willie Lynch kind of thing happening among us. But my point I'm making is this. All of them came out against him. And I mean, look, I'm talking about prominent black business people came against Marcus Garvey.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
Should I name them?
Yes, sir.
Name
Most
'em.
definitely. Put it on the record.
Too many.
Most deaf.
Too many.
Drop the ones that's still alive.
Oh, well, it's their children.
They're not alive no more.
Their children still here. Senstack.
Yeah.
There's some Senstack still around.
Yeah.
That was the guy who was over the Chicago Defender.
Right.
The defenseless.
Yeah. Who else? I'm trying to remember all these. I can't remember them all.
Boys.
W.B. Du Bois, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, this shit trickled all the way down to even when Martin Luther King decided to come here. That same group was told by some white man, don't you be seen with him.
Right.
And when he got here, all the preachers who got his picture up on their wall right now would not even walk with him. Just only one preacher did. And that was Reverend Clay Evans.
Yep.
He walked with him. The rest of them ran. So you're going to see that happen. And if you play this video back over and over again, you'll hear what Minister Omari does best. When I met Minister Omari, he was coming up, he was a young whippersnapper.
That's old school.
That's all. He was 21. And he did like, what's that man's name? Dolomite. He challenged the devil. Y'all don't know about Dolomite. Yeah, y'all gotta know about that. He challenged the devil. See, Omari, we challenged the devil as a movement. Omari challenged the devil sometime as an individual. Now today, he challenged them as a movement. I guess he got tired of being out there by himself. And I back him in that challenge. All right, bro. You got to get up here one day so you can speak, brother, first.
I got it.
No, I say one day we're going to get you to speak. And we're going to get you up here first.
That's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because I know he got something to say. And I want him to say it. And I feel him for it, you know. Just like when Minister Mike was here. I know he had something to say. And I feel him, you know. And this is the platform you can do it in.
Yeah.
You know, we just say you got to follow up on it. We going to keep it. Hey, look, we ain't scared of nobody.
That's right.
You know, we understand who backs us up. We understand the creative force behind us. We understand the great mind whose mind we decided we wanted to tap into and recognize and make it a part of us. We understand the oneness of the Creator, the oneness of nature, the oneness of things that are natural, and we are not trying to be a part of it. We are a part of it.
That's right.
We're that missing link. We that other piece of that puzzle that they need in order to see the whole picture. And we just got to fit in that spot. And it activates everything. See, if the millennials come together under what they just heard, you already know you got the backing of your elders. You already know you got the guidance of your elders. You already know that God is in me and shows me things before it happens. I mean, how can you not win a war with that kind of power? Be able to see it before it happens. To be able to reenact all the strategy and knowing what's going to happen before it happens so that when you start the process, you're already ahead of the game. Man, that's heavy, ain't it?
Right.
Well, you can get that right here. We've been doing this for a while. We've been under the radar. Wasn't no internet, Facebook at the time. But you never would see us on the news until we allowed the news to view us or interview us. And there's many times they wanted to interview us and we wouldn't let them. When they came, we left. I remember they put a mic to our face once. We was at a situation, we walked away. We didn't want to be on the mic. But now we're here. We survived 27 years to be at this moment in time to move forward with a true process and strategy that will expose our enemy on every level while at the same time catapult us into the position of power that we're supposed to have to take back that which is ours. And we're going to do it. So that was it for our broadcast. I just want to say this. Every Sunday from 12 to 3 at 644 East on 79th Street on the second floor, come and be with us. Join us. Get with us. Be a part of this movement. We already know what it takes to take back our neighborhood. We got a patrol that we've had for a while. Look us up on Facebook. Look up the We Care Coalition. Look up the TOMA Nation #2. Look up Nature's Divine Remedy. That's health. Proper good health. Health, wealth, knowledge of self is what we've been about. And that's what we are about. So come on, get with us. Sign up, get with us. And talk back to our people. And share with them what we need to know to be free. Thank you for listening. I leave you as I greeted you in the ancient but holy words of peace. Hotel.
Mayan Hotel.
Shalom.
Shalom alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Bargani.
Jamo Sante Hibargani.
Lafia.
Lafi and Duque.
And Ashe.
Ashe.
Hey.